Hey everyone, how's it going? A long time. All right. Been a little while since I've done that. So hey everyone, thanks for being here today. As always, great to have you here. And I want to talk about the harmonic minor scale today. And I'm just kind of showing off the sound of the scale, but first let me say hi to everyone. Phil, of course, as always, Phil back this week, helping out. I can't do it without Phil, so thanks. And stuff for sale, if you like the channel. We have the tip jar, of course, which everybody's so generous, and of course the mugs, the t-shirts are now available, all my backing tracks, and my record over on Bandcamp. And all my True Fire courses, 20% off using Live 25, and my newest course from Brett Papa, with Brett Papa, I should say, called Blues Rock Masters, and that's British edition. And once again, that's been going really well, and I totally appreciate all the people that picked that up, and the amazing compliments I've been getting from everyone. So I've been really appreciate it. Really means a lot to me. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about the harmonic minor scale, kind of revisiting some stuff a little. Got to dust off those chops. So that was fun, revisiting some of that stuff. So I'm just going to go to a little bit of a cleaner sound because I'm all delayed out and everything like that. Using my Axe effects. How's that thing sound, huh? Sounds amazing. Okay, so first thing, harmonic minor. It's, all right, so a little history. In around the Baroque period, Bach period, 1700s, backtrack for a second, we're in a minor scale, I'm in A minor. And if I'm in A minor, we want a 5 chord. Usually the 5 chord in the key in this case would be E, we want a strong resolution. So say if we're in the key of C major, right? C major, A minor is the same key. But if I want to go G7 or G major, G7 to C major, call it like the amen cadence. It's very, it's very satisfying. It's a dominant chord resolving to the tonic chord. So it's just a fancy name of saying your 5 chord resolving to the 1 chord. So, okay, so that's that. And we have the subdominant. If I remember right, the F is a subdominant. I think so. All right, so dominant chord to the 1 chord. But if we were in A minor, which is the same key as C major, same chords, the 5 chord in A minor would be E minor. And that's not a very strong sound, right? So if we're doing a chord progression that goes, doesn't have a real pull to that resolution. So what they did around that period, around the early Baroque period, late Renaissance, you would hear the 5 dominant, they made the 5 chord, not minor, but they made it major, and they borrowed, so they went, they borrowed from A major. So A major would be E7 or E major to A major. But to make it minor, to keep it in the sound, to resolve to a minor chord, they made the 5 chord major or dominant. For a little more resolution, you can make it a 5 dominant 7th chord, E7. More pull, back to the 1 minor chord. Right, so you've heard that a million times. I'm going to talk about some popular songs where we use this. Now, it shows a very classical sounding thing at the top. Well, actually, that was sort of The Messiah Will Come Again by Roy Buchanan, that chord progression, very common. So let's talk about what's going on. So we have an A minor scale. When we play harmonic minor, I used to think when I was a kid, when I would solo with harmonic minor, that the whole tune would be harmonic minor, because I was an Yngwie nut. I'm soloing over everything. That kind of thing. And I sounded stupid because I didn't really realize that harmonic minor is only really supposed to be used at certain spots. So if I'm going to have this chord progression, now let's go to the chord progression I used. A minor to F, A minor G, excuse me, to F. Very common, right? Stairway to Heaven. That's all A minor. But to get this other resolution, we went to E major or E7 back to the A minor. So it's A minor, that's your 1 chord in A minor. G is your flat 7. F is your flat 6. E7 is your 5 dominant 7. So you get that sound right there. Well, if we take apart stuff, if we look at the chord progression, if we see a 5 chord, a 5 major chord, or a 5 dominant 7, say it again, a 5 major chord or a 5 dominant 7, E, resolving to A minor, to a 1 minor, that's going to be harmonic minor. Could be melodic, but we're going to stick to harmonic. Right? Stairway to Heaven. Other epics on Hotel California, right? It's the first 2 chords. B minor to F sharp major, F sharp 7. So that's a 5 dominant 7 chord or 5 major chord resolving to a 1 minor. Harmonic minor. So in this case, in the chord progression, I went A minor, G, F, E, E7 to A minor. So we get that sound. Right? So I'm just going to play between those 2 chords with that, that drone again. So, E7. Missed the foot switch. Then 1. So, yeah, I got a foot switch going on here and I missed it. It's live. All right, so I was just going from E to A minor. So Hotel California does that, right? The Messiah Will Come Again that we did right here does it. I'm a huge Tom Waits fan. Lots of Tom Waits tunes do that kind of thing. Wrong one. Hold on. So like. Five dominant seven. Right, so if you know a Tom Waits fan, like Cemetery Polka, that's one of the ones that I'm thinking about off of the Rain Dogs record. Okay, so that 5 dominant 7 pull. So if we go back to some classical music, right, that sound, right? So you're hearing that. That's Little Fugue in G minor by Bach, the first one staccato Fugue in G minor by Bach, D minor, and then, been a long time since I played that, but hear that same sound, some of the Paganini stuff. It's a while. So this, or. So we're just hearing those things. I'm just winging these ones. All right, so 5 dominant 7 to 1 minor. So how do we navigate that? Well, if we look, the only note that is different, A minor is spelled A, C, and E7, or E is spelled E, G sharp, B, and D. All the other notes are the same, so all I want to do is change my G in the scale to a G sharp. So I'm playing A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A. So if I play that scale, if I go back to that 5 chord, or the 1 chord, it's going to hit me on that. So, right, so I've got my 1, A minor, then to my E chord. Right, so in that E7 chord, we want to hit the G sharp. If you look at the chord progression we took at the beginning of the tune, A minor, G, F, E. I have a G chord in there, right? So I can't play the G sharp in that. It would sound terrible because you'd have a real clash. So I saved the harmonic minor chord, or the harmonic minor note, which would be the raised 7th, the G sharp, for the E7 chord. Okay? People are going, this isn't blues. But you use it in blues all the time, too. If I'm thinking about, you're playing a tune that goes from a minor blues, like, four chord, back to 1, now 5. Right, so right in that 5 chord. I can use harmonic minor in a blues as long as I'm going from a 5 dominant 7 chord to a 1 minor. Very common in the blues. Or just even. Okay. So, you guys haven't, is this everybody hanging in there? I wrote down some other stuff. Okay, if you want to think about, where I first really heard it was, Yngwie Malmsteen, Ritchie Blackmore, obviously Deep Purple and Rainbow, Uli John Roth from the Scorpions, a tune called Sails of Sharon, with the metal background. But this doesn't have to be metal in any way. This is something like, it's so incredibly common. It's a ton of tunes, Hotel California being one of them. And I had overlooked it all the time. I just kind of didn't know, I just ignored the chord. Just played either harmonic minor over the whole thing, or I didn't know what to do and played pentatonic licks. But if you hit that raised 7th, which happens to be the natural third of your 5 chord, you get that great sound. Now, you can use it if you're going E7 to A7, A minor. You can use harmonic minor over both of those if you want. That can sound cool. You just don't want to use it over a whole chord progression like I had said. If I'm doing like this and I go to the G chord and I'm going, I'm playing that G sharp over the G chord, it's terrible. But if I play it over the F, I don't want to play it there, but I save it for this. I can play it on the A minor chord. Then I might go back to the G again because I don't want to wear it out. If you play it too much, I think it really loses its effectiveness. Okay, so just to get a little deeper. All right, so there's chords to a harmonic minor scale. And how do we figure that out? Without getting too deep into harmonizing scales, an A minor scale, the chords in A minor are A minor, this is B diminished, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor. So if we take a harmonic minor scale, all we're going to do is take an A minor scale and make all the G's G sharp. So I'm just using triads. I have A minor, right? And I got a B diminished where I don't have a G sharp. But I have my next chord is C major, so I have a C major sharp 5. C augmented. D minor 7, E7, because that G sharp, F major, G diminished, or G sharp diminished, I should say, back to A minor. So it's a lot to think about, but there's 2 specifically really important chords. E7, and then the 7th chord, which would be a diminished 7th chord, do a fully diminished 7th chord. You hear that a lot. Okay, so everybody hanging in? It gets pretty, gets a little heavy theoretically if you're not familiar with this. Just use your ears. And if you don't know a diminished 7th chord, G sharp diminished 7. It really pulls. All right, so those are the 2 specifically mainly used chords when using harmonic minor in a pop or a blues or a rock context. You know, in jazz, that's when if you harmonize the chords, the 7th chords are getting a little deep. The 7th chords are going to be 1 minor major 7. 2 minor 7 flat 5, flat 3 major 7 sharp 5. I love the sound of this stuff. D minor 7, pretty plain there. E7, flat 6 major 7, then that diminished 7th and a 7th chord back to the 1. All right, so that's kind of more the jazzy stuff. You get these great chords like that. Wedge him. C major 7, sharp 5. All right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that can be really over, that you can get really deep with it. And then there's modes of all the all the harmonic minor scales, excuse me. And one's really important, it's called Phrygian dominant. And the one that Richie Blackmore called the snake charmer scale. But we can talk about that another time. But so here, harmonic minor. How do you practice this? Well, you can make a chord loop. Let me do that. I think, yeah, so 3, 4. A live loop. And just target that G sharp. A minor triad, E major triad, right? Or the scales. I can right, so I can just keep on doing that, which is a lot of fun to just either just play the scale over the whole thing to get the sound of the scale under my fingers, and then also really target, as we talk about all the time here on the channel, targeting chord tones. So in that particular case, I'm thinking A minor to E major. Right? And in the intro thing that I was playing, it's the same exact thing. I'm always thinking about the chord tones as I'm going through it. So if we go back to that intro idea. All right, so I have my A minor chord. Now I'm going to go to G, F, E. Once again, A minor, G, F, to my E, right? So I'm just thinking about the chord tones as they go by, and I want to target those. I could play A minor over the whole thing, and when you're kind of ripping, that's what you do, and then when you get to the harmonic minor part, you add in that G sharp. So let's see if I can do that again for a second. So my old days. All right, so yeah, screwing up on some of that stuff, or whatever. It's hard to keep those chops up when you don't do it. So, but you know, I always want to rip on that stuff because it's so much fun. So what I was doing, like I said, I'm thinking A minor, G major. I'm going to bring that down to the F chord, and then I'm going to go down to E. So I'm going to follow that. Right, so just going, outlining the chords. Now I'm doing sweepy arpeggios and all that, but I'm still always just targeting my chord tones. Man, there's so many songs that do this. Because it really super, this top is very Yngwie sounding in the way I'm kind of playing over it. But one song that was the first introduction to me for this was The Messiah Will Come Again, and that's by Roy Buchanan. Really recommend that. I remember hearing that as a kid, even before I played guitar, and I was like, what is this? You know, and the chord progression is that. And, you know, I had no idea what that was until, I don't know, maybe into high school when I finally really kind of figured out what Yngwie was doing and what that was. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool that I can hit that one note and be very effective. All right, so any questions? There's probably a lot of questions about this. And yeah, you can use it in the blues, for sure. For sure. All right. So thanks everybody for being here, as always. So just to answer a few questions, I am using, just right off the bat, I'm using my Axe Effects, the FM3. And there's a guy who makes patches or sells, you know, presets, and I put a link to him. He goes by the name Fremen, and he had these great patches of drones. So I just bought his patch of drones, which I have the link here in my thing. I don't get any kickback. I just thought he did a great job. And I thought it'd be fun to talk about some of this stuff as opposed to creating a jam track so I could spend more time on each chord. And it just sounds cool. Thanks, Phil. Phil put up the drone package. Okay. All right, some questions. All right. Blah, blah, blah. This is all me. All right, Dave Cromwell, hey, what's up? Grandpa Christian, Gordon, thank you. Zito, what's up? Other Jesus, that's great. Steve Moore, Ken Clarkson, S.E. Nesbitt, of course. Mike Anderson, what's up? Glenn, Lubrecht, Jason Carter, everyone's here. Everyone's here. Richard and Sarah, what's going on, everyone? Matt Gibson, how you doing, man? Okay, so let's talk a little bit. Yes, that was the Brie by Bach. Thanks. All right, let's get some. You missed the Peter Green live stream, but can you get that sound, bass sound, out of any dual humbucker four-pot guitar? Okay, it's a little off topic, but I remember you actually asked me a question, I got that question in the chats. No, he's asking about the Peter Green sound when I have the out-of-phase pickup on my Les Paul. You can't get that out of a regular Les Paul. What you need to do is literally open up the magnet, the pickup, and reverse the magnet from north to south and south to north. I didn't do that. I just bought a pickup that did that. They do have, you can get an out-of-phase switch. It doesn't sound quite the same, but it's still pretty cool. But no, you can't get that sound out of a standard wired Les Paul. All right. Okay. All right, not a lot of questions today. Did I lose everybody with this? Jason Carter, if you move up and down 3 frets using harmonic minor scales, does that relative major minor? No. That kind of works out as pentatonic scales. You're going to really, that's like a pentatonic scale kind of trick. Harmonic minor, yeah. Just think about harmonic minor as really chord based. You're going to be playing on a particular chord, in this case the E7, to get that sound. So I wouldn't look at it that way so much, that the 3 fret thing. You know, you only want to use that in the beginning, and then at some point you want to kind of push past that and be able to really just know the notes. I know, I'm just being a guitar teacher here right now. Okay. All right, some questions, blah, 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 blah. I go on the bottom. Not a lot of questions today. What pedals are you using to get that sustaining background note? That is, like I said, it's from the Axe Effects, the FM3, and it's just they have a synthesizer in there. So, you know, that just the synth just does its thing. That's all I'm doing. So I'm just stepping on buttons. So it's kind of like remember Rush? You would use those Taurus pedals that Geddy Lee would stand on them? Same kind of thing like that, where it does it. Okay. So yeah, Dimioli uses this in a lot too. And Mike, this isn't in a lesson anywhere, I'm just talking about it today. I'll start kind of putting it up, some of these things. As I go further along, some of these things are going to be in my subscription channel, and some of those things are going to be here, but more in depth in a subscription channel. But also I'll put out the Harmonic Minor video here, a standalone. Can you give us some tips for being creative with the harmonic minor scale? Yeah. I think the first thing to think about is to just, you know, get those, find the chord progression and feel comfortable, feel comfortable with the chord progression, right? So if I'm going to do, right, that kind of sound. So I'm just going to target that. Right? So I'm just playing A, E. And the creative part, first thing, is just hitting that G sharp at the right time. And the creative part, I don't know, just kind of makes some music with it. You can use a lot of bending. Those are kind of, you know. Like, I'm bending from like my A, my G sharp, releasing that, hitting the G sharp when I'm playing the E7 chord. So, in terms of being creative, I don't know. I think melodically. Listen to some classical music, and you hear it all over the place. All right. Do I know harmonic minor all over the box, or only in a certain, all over the neck or in a certain box? What do you think? I know it everywhere. Hey man, it is A minor, A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp. So if you know an A minor scale or all your natural notes, which you really should, and if you don't, you really want to work hard to do that, all I'm doing is changing my G to a G sharp. I'm not thinking about scale fingerings, I'm just thinking about G sharp, G, right, and playing that G sharp when I need it. So I'm really not thinking about scale fingerings. Now, when you're doing the faster licks, you know, those, you know, that kind of stuff, those are practiced picking patterns for sure. So I'm thinking like 3-note per strings, about that, you know, which is really helps that a lot, you know. Without that, 3-note per string really facilitates that stuff. Are you outlining various chords in the progression? Or are you changing scales in order to do the 5 chord as you described? All right, so Ken, so let me say that one again. I just lost that. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I rolled past it here. Okay, when you are outlining the various chords in the progression, are you changing scales in doing so, other than the 5 chord as described? I'm not changing scales at all. All the chords I'm outlining, this is an important thing. A lot of people think like, oh, I'm on my A minor chord, I'm going to play A minor. I'm on a G major chord, I'm going to play G major or something. They're all derived from the key of A minor until we get to the E7 chord. So the two things I'm thinking about chord tones to specifically outline those chords at the right time. Or I can think of the parent scale and I can just kind of mess around with A minor and target the right notes at the right time. So if I'm going to just go from, like, you know, A minor, and I want to get that F chord when it comes, then I'm really shooting for that E chord on that, or the E note on the E chord. But in terms of the fingerings and the ideas, I'm just thinking about A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then a G sharp on the 5 chord, and then triads, targeting the right note at the right time as a resolution point. Hopefully that helps. But I'm not thinking about different scales. I'm thinking about 2 different things. A minor, change to G sharp when I need it, period, scale-wise. Chord tone-wise, I'm thinking A minor is A, C, E, G is G, B, D, F is F, A, C, E7 is E, G sharp, and B. So that's a lot to think about if you're not comfortable with it. So just play A minor and just make sure you play a G sharp on the E chord. That's a great way to start doing it. Just simple like that. Okay. All right. Harmonic minor is the same as playing Phrygian over a major chord. Well, yeah, it can be. It's called Phrygian dominant, but the tonal center is different. So yes, it's a mode of melodic minor, harmonic minor, excuse me. So we're talking about like E to F. That's another kind of Ingve sort of thing if I grab that. So I'm going to take the same 2 chords, E to F to D minor. So, you know. Right, same scale. Now, if I have something like that, that's really fairly static and not a changes, sometimes you just play harmonic minor over the whole thing because that would work nicely. But that scale would be called Phrygian dominant, and that is a mode of harmonic minor. I would suggest that you learn harmonic minor first as its own thing, A minor, E7, A minor, and you can start working on that too. That's the one that Richie Blackmore called the snake charmer scale. Okay. I get some more questions. Cool. There are no questions because everybody's staring at their finger, the fretboard. Buddy. Do you prefer the order in which you recommend the guitar student to learn scale types, pentatonic, diatonic, major, natural minor? Yeah. Good question, Phil. I would learn your pentatonic scales first, major and minor, pentatonic, and feel comfortable with those first. That's the way I think about guitar. Not when I'm soloing over something very like this. I don't think about pentatonic scales on something like this because I just don't think it's not the sound. But most of the things you hear me play and a lot of things that we're here for, it's going to be pentatonic's the big deal. So being able to know your minor pentatonic scale fingering, so if you learn A minor, you in turn know C major and experiment playing in A minor and experiment in playing in C major using the same scale. So that would be first. That and your triads. And then you can start to dig into the full major scale, which you have to do. But pentatonic's really cool. If you get really comfortable with that, you're only 2 notes away from a major or a minor scale. All right. Okay, wow, no questions. All right, is this not all that interesting, or you guys don't know what to ask me about it? One thing as I go through it, right? I can go through the chords, so A minor. Oh, F sharp sounds good. Only on the A chord. So, and what you can start to look at as I go through these is I'm going to look for, very often, guide tone lines or lines that move between all the chord progressions. So let me show you that. I'm going to go back to that other sort of... All right, so I have my A minor chord. So I'm going to play the 3rd C, go down to the 3rd of G, there's my A, then G sharp. All right, so you see what I did? I targeted, I was watching how the chords go, and in just the inner working of the chords. Check this out, guys, this is awesome. A minor, G major, F major, E major. So I have a guide tone line built in. I have some really great music just built into the chord progression. And then the root. So let's hear those. So. Here's my G sharp, right? Then here's my root, and E. So I have a cool little, it's outlining the chords as they go down. So I can see how everything moves this way. So this is how I'm thinking about a lot of these things too. And anybody who's anybody's taken a deeper look at harmony. So now we can think about, well, how about notes moving up, right? Everything's moving down. So that sounds cool if I go down, right? But now how about if I try to think that's something that goes up? Now how about this? Pretty sweet, right? So what I did was I worked through the notes of each of those chords now in ascending fashion. So the A minor, I played the C, that's my third. When I went up to the G chord, I played the D, right? Got a gate on this, right? So then I go to my F chord and I played E, which sounds really nice on the F chord. Let's hear that. It's the major 7, so the chord we're implying. Then, so let's hear that whole thing, that line, ascending line. Right? Pretty cool. I kept the patch the way this guy had it because I loved it. All that delay. So bear with me on that. So you're hearing that great little line that moves up. So now what I'm going to try to think about is going, I'm going to mess with the two. I'm going to play some down, descending, and some of the ascending line. Right? So I'm just playing chord tones. And I'm thinking about how they move against each other. I've got these ascending lines, I've got these ascending lines, and I can make music around those melodies going, you know, like. Obviously I can go and practice those stuff. Like very obvious ones like that, but I can also make it less obvious. Let's hear that. Right? So I can really have a lot of fun with it, trying to find the line inside. And then the rest of it is all scale stuff. It's that easy. All right. Hey, someone just said, Layla, Clapton does that in the opening song of Layla Unplugged. Yes, because he goes to a 5 dominant 7, the unplugged version, not the regular one. Yeah, he does that, you know, like, he does in D minor, so he goes A7 to D minor. It's good ears, man, exactly. This is from Raj. So you were just throwing in the harmonic minor note only over the dominant 7th chord, but using natural minor in the rest of the chords. Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, I can on the A minor chord carry it out a little bit longer if I want with the raised 7th, just for sound, but for the most part, you're exactly right. And that's what I'm trying to get across. The only time I'm really thinking harmonic minor is over that 5 to the 1. And I can let it run over onto the 1. So let's hear that. I'm going to go 5, 1, E to A minor. So right, I can do that because it sounds cool. I definitely don't want to play it over the G chord, F chord. It's not terrible on the F, but on that G, it's terrible. The reason why the F actually sounds okay is F major is contained in A harmonic minor. So if you write out what I wrote my little notes on it, posted so I can remember the chords so I didn't forget online live. Just write them out, write out the chords, and then find them, and then just work through them. That's what I did, and I still do. Still always come up with stuff. All right. So 5 what? Hey Keith, what's up, man? You said that you can use it over blues, in a minor blues. Yes, you can use it in a minor blues if you go from your 5 chord to your 1 chord. So if I'm doing, like I said, you know, like a B, A minor. And my 5, E7. Right, so if I go to a 5 dominant 7 on the blues, E7, replace my 5 chord with E7 as opposed to E minor on a minor blues. Sounds great. My tip to you on that, though, is to not overuse that in a blues. When you're at home practicing it, practice the heck out of it, get that change. But on a gig, if you hit that every single time, it becomes a little tedious. Trust me, I know, because I've done it. So what you look for where it sounds good, you want to use it judiciously because it can become very predictable, especially in the blues. So it sounds great, but yeah. All right. There's a top chat there. Someone gave me a top chat. I'm sorry, I missed it while I was blabbing. Thank you, whoever gave me the top chat. Sorry about that. I missed it. All right. Looking for questions? Steve Moore, thank you very much. How would you practice this with a blues line? Okay, just the same thing like I just said. If I'm, let me, so I can record a 3, 4. How good my time is. So. Right, so. Hey, time's pretty good. Oh, I'm recording that. I forgot how to use this stuff. There we go. All right, I'm new to the looper. All right, so I recorded myself playing again. It's live. So what I did was I just target that 5 chord, and I'm just making sure I add in that G sharp on that 5 chord. Right? The Thrill Is Gone kind of does it. We have that, then Thrill Is Gone does go to a 5 dominant 7, but the 6 is a flat 6 major. Oh crap, that will work perfectly. All right, so Thrill Is Gone does it. Yeah, you go say flat bow is in B minor. G major 7 to F sharp 7. So Thrill Is Gone. Now BB doesn't do that. I think stylistically it wasn't what that tune was about, but you can add it in. So hopefully that answers your question, Steve. Thank you for the top chat. I really appreciate it. On the Hell Freezes Over video, the Eagles started Hotel California like this. Yeah, you know, and they wrote that solo. Apparently it took them months to perfect that solo, which you can tell because it's probably one of the greatest guitar solos of all time. All right. Does your scale have 3 half note steps? Okay, so does the scale have 3 half note steps or 3 half? Yeah. Okay, so well, it's just a regular natural minor, but you have that. I think that makes a difference. That natural, that raised 7th. So that's the sound that you really got to get in there. So you have that minor third. So it's, you know, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, minor third root, right? All right. Does that answer that, Zita? Let me know. Bit off topic, your courses, are there some that more easily adapted to acoustic guitar? Thanks for the Harmonic Minor lesson, thank you. Yeah, you know, I have solo, it's called Essential Solo Electric Guitar Groups. And it's basically things that I would play on standard tuning, regular guitar, regular acoustic guitar, but on electric. That was kind of the point of the course, like a Robert Johnson, sort of. That kind of thing is on that course. So that is the Essentials Solo Electric Guitar. There you go. Thank you. Harmonic Minor, you can get your Mozart on, stronger resolutions or cadences. Also allows sound for being in parallel major. Yes, that's BB. Yep, you can borrow. All right, so, you know, yes, there's a lot of cool stuff that can be done. So what BB was saying is, right, the Harmonic Minor gives you stronger resolution. But you also hear this a lot. So let's see if we can get this. I think I have like another patch. Hold on. Look at my presets. Hold on. Yep. Keeps on going. Turns it on. No, let's do this one. Hold on. I haven't messed with this preset, but it's pretty cool. All right, so we're in E minor. All right, so. Sorry. Go back to E minor. Then. So I ended on a major chord there, right? So, nope. Hold on a sec, guys. I'm new to this stuff. There we go. So I ended on a major chord. We hear that a lot. See in Toccata and Fugue in D minor, where it's not like so, right? And then he goes, then hear the diminished chord. So he does what's called a Picardy third. Thinking about my music school background. D sus4, D sus2 to D major. So you got fooled, right? So you went to this sort of like, shit, excuse me. I could do that, or I could do, right? That whole thing. So yeah, we talk about parallel major, so it's in a way to get you to a different key or to bring you to major. So you could do, like you were saying, A, then you're in D major. Very cool. Thank you for bringing that up, man. All right. Hey, thanks, Zita. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the top chat. Thank you, everybody. Okay, Ron, shout out to the Peter Green video. You stripped down your Les Paul Marshall lead, and an Ox. Never enjoyed playing so much. Can't thank you enough. Hey, thank you. You're welcome. This is from Ron. You're welcome. Yeah, there's just nothing like playing right into the amp. I mean, I got a lot of stuff here, but really what I have is just an amp sound and some delay and reverb. But, you're welcome. But yeah, just there's a real joy about plugging into just guitar right into the amp. You're welcome, Zita. Thank you. I appreciate it. Right, harmonic minor scale, the scale formula, yes. Root 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, and natural 7. Yes. Thank you very much. All right. So it's really useful. And you want to think about those chords as they go by. Once again, just to remind you, the two most important chords that we can steal from harmonic minor or borrow from it, that we use, in rock and roll and blues and pop music, is a 5 dominant 7 going to the 1 minor, E7, A minor. That's the big sound. And then you also have the natural 7th, diminished 7th sound. Now let's just talk about that for a second. E7, just like here's D7, right? You bring it up a whole step. There's E7, E, G sharp, B, and D. So there's my E, G sharp, B, and D. Watch. If I just bring up my E to an F, I have G sharp diminished. So that's pretty sweet. So very often, you can play the diminished sound because that G sharp diminished 7 contains an E7 part of an E7 chord. So they're really interchangeable, those sounds. So you're hearing like a, or, this always just has that little more leading tone, but if I went, E with a G sharp in the bass, it pulls the same way. Guitar concerto, yeah, I believe the guitar concerto that you're talking about is in the same scale. A lot of the Spanish guitar stuff is this, and also Phrygian dominant. It's a mode of harmonic minor. That's that, like, right, so that, yeah, you really hear that a lot. That whole kind of, right, so A minor, E7. All right, so Phil just texted me there. Thanks, Phil, let me know. Oh, you guys are hearing the stereo delay. I'm just kind of messing around. I'm really enjoying this Axe effects. All right, I should tell you, because all these people are like, oh, you should say, I work with the company. They've been really generous. They helped me get one of these. And I hope you guys understand, I don't use anything I don't really talk about or tell you about or see anything on camera that I don't really like. I've been enjoying the heck out of this thing. I mean, obviously you can see why you can do stuff like a synth into here, and I get all these different guitar sounds that I can't easily get out of the big amps at New York City volumes, Like right now I'm at television volume. This is just as loud as I would, well, maybe a little louder than I watch TV, but, it's not killing me. I can have it on all day, and I have all these different guitar sounds, and it's just a ton of fun. So I feel like, am I an ad for the Axe FX Fractal FM3? At the moment, yeah, because I'm really enjoying it. So people often ask me, see you, Keith. See you later, man. Thanks for stopping in, as always. And people ask me, oh, well, is it going to replace your amps? I'm like, no. It's just a tool, but it's a really great tool to have in my toolbox. It's what I do, professionally. So it's not going to replace, if I'm doing like a blues gig, I'm not going to bring this. I'm going to bring the thing that I've been playing forever, which is a tube amp, and I'm there in front of it, and I can turn the knob, and I want to turn this up, I want to turn that down, it's right there. Some people are really, really, really adept at doing that with the Fractal, and I might get to that at some point, but this would be perfect for, like, my friends on Broadway, when Broadway was open, they all use this stuff because it's great, and a lot of my friends tour, they do the same thing. They use these on the road all the time. Because I think I mentioned my friend Angus Clark, that he's in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They've been using these for years. Metallica uses them, U2 uses them. Any huge band, anybody you see who's like not necessarily a band, like if you're in Lady Gaga's band, they're all using this stuff. because it's cheaper and it's easier to work with and all those things. You don't see Aerosmith use them because, you know, they have the unlimited budget and Joe Perry plays really loud. But these are awesome for what I'm doing here, and on certain gigs they would be great. If I were playing in a cover band and I wanted to get a bunch of really, you know, guitar sounds that, you know, for instance, say if you're like in a Pink Floyd cover band, this is the way to go because all the sounds are there. If I want to get all the guitar sounds that Gilmour gets, I would go for something like this as opposed to using my amps and getting a ton of pedals and trying to match it, because it's kind of all right here and super easy and it's really light. And I don't know, the older I get, the less I want to move gear. So that's what I'm using here, and it's been fun. And there's lots of, like, you know, exchanges and things like that people give away patches. But it's been really fun. I'm really enjoying it. And once again, of course, the nerdy stuff is my Michael Tuttle. Really loving this. The Strat that he made for me with the 2 humbuckers, the throwbacks in it. Great guitar, and it's working out really fun. It's really, really fun. All right, so any final questions? First of all, thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate everybody did the top chat. Hopefully this helped you think about harmonic minor and what it is, and it's not just, I put the picture of Bach. It's not just a classical thing. You can use it in the blues anytime you have a 5 dominant 7th chord going to a 1 minor chord. You can use harmonic minor. Anytime you have a natural 7 diminished 7th chord, you'd use harmonic minor, right? So all those things. And oh, just one quickly, what about half-step bends in harmonic minor? Yeah, anywhere. You just find out where they are for that key. So as I was saying before, like, I went to the A and the A chord. Right? So I'm hearing that A minor, E, A minor. So that's really important, you know? And there's cool little things, you know, those little things that you hear like Yngwie do and all that. So, you know, if you really want to hear some of the, really I was inspired by Yngwie Malmsteen, of course, Lee John Ross from the Scorpions, and Ritchie Blackmore. These are the 3 guys that got me into the sound. Hear some of the Ozzy stuff a little bit, not as much, but all over Deep Purple, Rainbow, Yngwie, and Uli John Roth. All right, so thanks everybody for being here. Once again, all my courses are through my website, live, 25 for 20% off. The British Blues Masters course that's been doing really well. I really appreciate all that. And I'm going to be launching and putting together my subscription channel too. And we got the mugs and the t-shirts and all that stuff. So thanks everybody for being here. And thank you, of course, Phil, for everything. And I'll see you guys next week. See ya. Bye-bye.